In the spring of 2011, the inventor of Bitcoin sent one of his last known messages. He said he had moved on to other things. Then he vanished, leaving behind a fortune he has never touched. Not one coin. Not once. Why did Satoshi leave? October 31st, 2008. A 9-page paper appears on an obscure cryptography mailing list, signed by a name nobody has ever heard. Satoshi Nakamoto. It doesn't ask for money. It doesn't ask for trust. It describes a machine for truth, money no one can print, no one can fake, and no one can stop. 2 months later, January 3rd, 2009, the machine turns on. The first block, the Genesis block. No launch party, no press release. A quiet hum in the dark. For about 2 years, Satoshi is there. He writes code. He answers emails. He argues on forums. Patient, precise, almost invisible even while present. No photograph, no voice, no company, no crown. Then the messages begin to thin. Through 2010, he hands the code to other developers, piece by piece. And in the spring of 2011 comes the line the whole mystery hangs on. He had moved on to other things. After that, silence. 15 years of it. Journalists have hunted him. Agencies have hunted him. Every few years, another face is dragged into the light, and every unmasking has collapsed. The pattern always holds. The person never appears. And here is what most tellings get wrong. They treat the disappearance as the loose end of the story. It isn't. It is the point of the story. Because Satoshi didn't just leave. He left something behind that makes the leaving impossible to dismiss. Here is the detail that turns a mystery into a proof. In the earliest days of the network, when almost nobody was watching, Satoshi mined an estimated 1 million coins. And in all the years since, through every mania, every crash, every headline, those coins have never moved. Not one. Not once. Think about what that means. Every fraud in history has an exit. Every scammer eventually cashes out. That's what the con is for. Satoshi's exit was the opposite of a cash out. He left the treasure on the table, in public view, on a ledger anyone on Earth can inspect, and walked away with nothing but the truth of the system he built. We don't talk price on this channel. Ever. Because the number was never the point. What matters is not what the coins are worth. It's what the not spending is worth. Untouched coins are testimony. They are a silence you can audit. The ledger remembers what he did, and the ledger remembers what he never did. So the cynical explanations start to fall apart. He didn't leave to escape with the money. The money never moved. He didn't leave for fame. He refused to face. Which leaves a stranger and far more interesting possibility. What if leaving wasn't a retreat at all? What if it was the last component of the design? Every system in history that had a founder had a throne. Run the list. Companies, kingdoms, movements, currencies. Wherever there is a founder, there is a chair at the center, and every chair at the center is a target. Something to capture, something to subpoena, something to flatter, bribe, blackmail, or break. A founder is a point of failure. A protocol is not. If Satoshi had stayed, Bitcoin would have had a king. His opinions would have been law. The code would have meant whatever he said it meant. His mistakes would have been everyone's mistakes. His arrest would have been the system's arrest. Every government on Earth would have known exactly which door to knock on. Every powerful interest would have known exactly whose ear to own. Instead, he removed the last single point of failure in the design, himself. Satoshi left so the system could not be captured through him. Look at what that changed. Today, nobody can argue with Bitcoin's rules by pressuring a person, because there is no person. You cannot flatter the protocol. You cannot threaten it, bribe it, or subpoena it. There is only one thing you can do with it. Verify it. Rules you can check, instead of a ruler you have to trust, which means the word everyone uses, abandoned, is exactly backwards. A system built to have no ruler is not finished while its builder still stands inside it. Satoshi didn't abandon the work. He completed it. And that idea, that one idea, is the seed of everything this studio builds. Because in our story, years later, two boys go looking for the man who vanished. And what they find instead is the whole point. In our story world, the Chronicles of Satoshi, two brothers, Brucey and Henry Bitcoin, do what the whole world spent 15 years doing. They go hunting for Satoshi. They came looking for a man, and they entered a structure. That is the turn the entire Timechain Universe is built on. The boys go searching for a face, a name, a founder, and what they walk into is the Cathedral of Time, a vast architecture of proof where every hour of honest work is set in stone, and nothing true can be quietly rewritten. Inside the cathedral, Satoshi is the hidden architect of proof. Not a ghost, not a god, a builder whose signature is the building itself. And he has exactly one canonical line in our universe. I am the chain. Not, I made the chain. Not, follow me. I am the chain. The work and the worker became the same thing. And that is exactly why the person could leave. You cannot subtract the builder from the building, when the builder is the building. If that idea just grabbed you, a builder who becomes the building, that's the story we wrote down. It's called the Chronicles of Satoshi, the Cathedral of Time, and it lives at chroniclesofsatoshi.com. One book, one universe. The architect, the guardians, the boys, and the dragon at the gates. The link is right below. Because the cathedral has a shadow at its gates. Cronus the Devourer, the dragon that eats history and replaces it with a narrative of control. In our story, Cronus is never slain. He is resisted, held, witnessed, and understand this about Cronus. A founder on a throne is exactly the kind of door he knows how to open. An empty throne gives him nothing to devour. One honest note, because this channel runs on proof, we don't invent answers the real world doesn't have. Who Satoshi was is a question, and it stays a question in our books too. But what his leaving did, that is a fact. Our universe explores the question, and it teaches the fact. So we arrive at the question adults actually argue about. Wasn't leaving reckless? Doesn't a system need its founder to defend it? Turn it around. In every other system, the founder is the wall. And walls made of people crack. They age, they bend, they get bought, they get broken. Bitcoin's wall is that there is no one to capture. The empty throne is the strongest wall. In our universe, King Rex, the lion of the ledger, carries the line that settles it. Satoshi completed the work. Not started it, not owned it, completed it. This channel is a father and son studio, so here is how we say it at our kitchen table. Anyone can guard a sandcastle all afternoon. The question is what's still standing when you go in for dinner. The strongest proof of your work is that it stands when you're not holding it up. Brucey Bitcoin's law applies to Satoshi better than to anyone. You can't fake the work. You can fake a name. You can fake a face. You cannot fake 17 years of a machine running exactly as its blueprint said it would, with nobody's hand on the wheel. So why did Satoshi leave? Ask the better question. What kind of thing can only be trusted after its maker lets go? That's what he built. That's why he left. BrainSprout Studios is the home of the Timechain Universe. Original Bitcoin mythology, cinematic visual education, character worlds, books, cards, music, and proof-of-work storytelling created, written, and developed by Bruce Buttrone Jr. The throne is empty. The wall holds. The lamp is lit, and no one needs to stand beside it. quit or completed. You already know what the ledger says. Truth is forged in fire, sealed in math. Nothing true is ever lost.